What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, saints and inks, and welcome to Track Talk, exclusive series, a part of the Lactic Acid Podcast Network. I am your host, Dominique Smith, and I have my brother, homeboy, doing big things in the state of Texas, helping the youth reach their full potential while helping elevate the sport of track and field himself. None other than my man, Mr. Matthew Parker. Matt, what's going on, big time? How you doing, man?
Man, not a whole lot. Just got done with our first meet of the year. Very proud of my kids. Just can't wait to get back to work. And this, I'm gonna tell you right now, 2023 is going to be one of the fastest years of all time. And we thought 2022 was fast. I'm telling you, across the board, from high school to college to pro, expect ridiculousness. It's going to be insane this year.
We're gonna see some world records drop. I don't know how many.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Um,
say four. We get four world records this year. So how many did we get last year? We got Mondo's. We got Sid.
We got.
I'm trying to think. Was there a distance? I think the race walk. Did the race walk have a world record?
I don't think so.
So it might have only been those two. We had a couple of top 5 times of all time and a couple of top 5 marks, but world records. I think only those two are coming to mind. I'm sure they're screaming at us, "You forgot somebody! You forgot somebody!" But
can't think of anything. Maybe I have to even go back in the shot put. I know Kovacs came close to breaking Krauser's world record, but no, man, there's some that I think are going to bypass this year. I think they'll come close, but I think Paris 2024, obviously, the meet is not here in the United States, and Colin and I, and so let's start with that, because Colin and I had a really good conversation. We had a really good talk about this topic. Do you think that the home field advantage played such a part in the success of the United States that it is realistic that people will have doubts that it will carry over to Budapest?
I think the home field advantage was real, one, because our athletes are used to competing in Hayward, but for it not to carry over, I mean, we're the most dominant track and field nation that's ever existed. So to say that is kind of foolish to me. I mean, maybe you won't see, and a clean sweep at 100, maybe, but I mean, we still always have some of the top. Like, if you look at the top 10 list of the fastest sprinters in the world in the 100 and the 200, there are at least 4 or 5 Americans up there always. Sure. No other nation can say that. So to say the U.S. is just going to fall off a cliff, maybe our medal count might go down by a few, maybe like 3. But to think Team USA is just going to fall off a cliff is very short-sighted.
And I don't think, like Colin and I, we didn't think that it would fall off a cliff by any means. Maybe you don't see as many fast times as you did. Maybe, some of the athletes don't hit. And I do think that maybe because it's later on in the season, it just depends on how things shake out. But I still agree with you. I think that you're going to see some blazing times this year. But when it comes to blazing times, in 2022, we saw some great high school athletes light up the track. So Matthew, show him the shirt again.
Oh yeah, Wings Track Club since 1977, the best club in the entire country, hands down. Hands down.
Right now, they have a strong debate, especially in the sprints and the hurdles, because they are producing top tier talent out in the great state of Texas, and those kids have gone on to colleges, and you will hear about them this year. And so the high school scene was beyond impressive. We saw some incredible times. And so not going to do a top 5 list, but just a couple. We'll go back and forth. What are some of the moments that stood out to you this season? So I wanted to start with you. What's one of the moments that, in your head, it's like, wow, this was crazy. This was incredible.
So first thing that comes to mind is Texas relays when the Summer Creek boys went 309. That was insane. And the fact that happened in March, Coach Irv and the entire Summer Creek coaching staff had those boys rolling. And so They dropped a historic time. I think they broke the stadium high school record. They broke the meet record, and they're one of the few teams to go sub 310 in high school. And so that was kind of like the first, like, oh my goodness, this year is kind of insane moment.
Yeah.
Especially for me, since I was there recording it in person in the warm up. So I saw they were relaxed. All those guys, straight dogs across the board.
And that was crazy because coming into that race, St. Thomas Aquinas, they had the number one time, and they ran, I believe the time was
3:14,
3:13.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that's we're good. Florida's representing, and then you got these boys, they come in and they tear it up. I think what was the anchor, like 45-78 or something like that, or 44
45-8.
It was just like, man, they're doing some serious running out here, and that kind of set the tone for the entire season. I went, man, to and I covered a couple meets. Mount Verde. Now we know they're boarding school and they get talent across the the state, and really across the country, to go there. And everybody can have their own opinions about that. That's fine. But there's a girl named Micah Holland, and she popped an 11.2. And crazy, the fastest time ended up being like 11.24. But what was so crazy about her, she's a junior, and I think I have the numbers here: 11.2, 11.26 not win aided, a legal time, and legal. Then legal win, and then she ran 23.1 in the 200. But she was a hooper. She's a hooper. Like she's coming straight off the basketball court, dropping sub 24.
Like it's nothing, just like, oh yeah, I'm just strolling to the sport,
like it's nothing. It's just like, who does this? Just comes in and then blazes the track like that. And it wasn't, we have the luxury of competing in track heavy states, and by track heavy, Florida, we may not have the depth. We have a lot of the top tier talent. But man, like Texas is, and maybe because the state is so big, it doesn't really matter what part of Texas you go to. They have elite sprinters and runners there all the time, and so and against some of the best competition, to consistently do that. And it's not as if she dropped. You know how it is. Sometimes I don't like to call kids one hit wonders, but sometimes you could pop a great time and then for 4 weeks it's just like, what happened, and everything. But the fact that she was able to do that consistently throughout the season, and she's a junior, that's the crazy thing. Obviously this is her senior year. I don't know, man. She's committed to LSU. Actually, I need to triple check that. It was, my Instagram. Shout out to Instagram, locked me out for whatever reason, so can't check it right now. Actually, I can, because I want to make sure. I thought it was LSU. No, I'm sorry, Texas. How did I get that wrong? She's committed.
Love it.
She's committed to Texas, and they got a good class coming in, man. I'm telling you, like, when it comes to the college ranks, Texas is cleaning up on that
Coach
recruiting.
Flo, oh my goodness, Coach Flo is elite.
If
anyone doubts him, you are sadly mistaken. He takes kids at a high level and just raises the bar consistently. We saw that Kentucky, Sydney McLaughlin. He had Jasmine Camacho Quinn. I'm forgetting a whole bunch of other athletes.
There was Jenna Prandini. Jenna Prandini was there.
Insane run.
Kenny Harrison. So many, man. So Texas, listen, man, they're doing it big. So that's the one that stood out to me. And then just watching it live, it's like, it's just incredible. The thing is incredible. Basketball, track and field are so different. And so the fact that you're an elite level hooper and you can just roll out and just drop, these crazy times faster than some collegiates and pros, like it's nothing. That's just insane to me, man.
Oh, that reminds me. His name escapes me right now, but I know who he is. Who's the D end who went 10-3 early in
Nicholas
the
Harbor.
season? Nicholas Harper. So that's another moment. I saw him live and in person at JO's.
Did you really?
Yes, 10-2, I think, in the finals. It's all right. Think about it. Take JJ Watt, right? Take JJ Watt, make him black, and put him on the track, but give him freaking 4.3 speed, and you get Nicholas Harbor. That is the craziest combination I have ever seen in my life. This dude is literally towering over kids. He was on anchor leg with our kid. Of course, we were in front, the win, but just saying, he was on anchor leg with our kid, right? And Cam is probably 5'8", 5'9" at best, and all you see behind him is just this monster just eating up track. We're like, get to the finish, get to the finish.
That dude is legit 6'6".
Bro, you see him in person, you're like, how do you move that fast?
Like, what do you feed these doggone kids, man?
I don't know, because I think he first burst onto the scene at Texas Tech, because didn't he go like 20.8 or something? Some ridiculous indoor time.
He ran a stupid indoor time. I think, yeah, like you said, 20.28. I don't think he's committed. Let me check that real quick, because I don't think he's committed to a school yet. Yeah. But man, you actually ran against that kid.
Oh yeah, hey, we had to take that dub. We had to. He was rolling on that anchor leg though. Absolutely flying.
He may be at South Carolina, Michigan, or
going to Colorado. Shout out Deion Sanders.
Listen, I'm trying to listen. Colorado's about to have a dope for if he can get the players he wants to. I guarantee you, if I'm a track and field coach, I'm like, Deion, let's work together. You know what I'm saying?
The Colorado track coach is just dancing in his office. I'm going to get all these athletes. I mean, look at Devon Achane at A&M. He's one of the top sprinters in the country and one of the top running backs. So when you have a great football program, not saying A&M's great right now, but they have great players, your track team always benefits, always.
Shout out to NIL. Just throw that out there. Yeah, and it's crazy. Like he's so for a guy that's less than 200 pounds, and oddly enough, Nicholas Harbor, based on statistical times, is faster than him.
Yes,
which is insane to me. He's a good running back. I think he did declare for the draft. The number 3 overall running back taken. Hey, listen, this is parents. This is why your kids need to run track and field in high school.
All football players should compete in track and field. If you're an O lineman, you need to be throwing the shot put. D lineman, you need to be throwing the shot put. Discus, all of that. If you're a linebacker, you need to be running the 100. They want you to be sideline to sideline. Any skill position should sprint. Every single one.
Every single one. If you're a soccer
player, a kicker, you need to. We'll find something for you to do.
Pole ball. I don't know.
I'm very tight.
Soccer players, all like, listen, come run track, come run the 800, come run the 1600. We have it's 16 here in Florida, but
I think it's the 15. No, it's 16. Yeah, it's 16 for high school. I think it's 15 for college and up.
I'm thinking about the Nicholas Harbor kid, man, because that kid is 6'5", 6'6", 230. Mm-hmm. This may be a hot take. I hope that kid. First of all, this is my opinion. I'm not a guru anymore, at least. I think that kid should be, if he's going to stick with football, I think he needs to move over to wide receiver. Because, think about it. People talk about that explosiveness off the line. If he has a lethal start, and we know it is hard for those big dudes to get out the blocks quick, fast, in a hurry. But if he has like an unbelievable start, I absolutely think that he should put his hand in the dirt or play a 3-4 outside linebacker. But that kind of speed, those strides, dude, we're running go routes. 230 pounds, we're running go routes.
Bang eight, comebacks, all that. Whole route tree, huh?
We're running go routes, we're running digs, we're running a skinny post, everything. We're just going deep. We're doing Tyreek Hill. Just launch it. Just launching that football downfield.
I see it. I think he's more of a natural fit at tight end just because of his size, but
uh,
a 6'5" receiver is very rare. Calvin Johnson doesn't come around every, couple years. Those are unicorns.
I don't know if he can play tight. It depends. If he can adjust to the physicality of tight end. If he's a Kyle Pitts, that hybrid mismatch, perfect. But if you're a hand in the dirt, blocking down and everything. Not
I
saying
mean,
he
look at
can't
look at
do it.
Kelsey. Kelsey is mainly a pass catcher, but you still want to be competent in the running game, so that
Oh
way
yeah.
you aren't giving tells. So they brought Nicholas Harbor in, of course they're going to throw. So, but to get back to track and indoor track, we cannot have this conversation without Shanti Jackson.
Man, that's what I was just about to say.
She was running with pros in high school. Didn't she go like 7-1 or something ridiculous at Milrose?
Yes.
I think she broke the national record.
Out of St. Thomas Aquinas High School. And if anybody knows, if that name sounds familiar, her father is the legendary wide receiver Chad Johnson, aka Chad Ochocinco, for the Cincinnati.
You mean Batman Bengals. Jackson?
Oh my God! What the heck am I even talking about?
You're talking about Chanel Johnson.
I'm thinking about Chanel Johnson. I got him mixed up.
She's a dog too.
She was the one I was gonna say. Batman, my bad, dog. But yes, his daughter is legit, dude. And I guess she was just
the famous fathers. Yeah.
I was just thinking about Shael, and I was like, crap, that's what he's talking about.
Shael is I remember back in the day she used to run the 15, the 8, the 4, the 2, the 1, all that. Is she still doing the full basically 1500 down, or has she kind of focused in?
I mean, it's the 8, the 4, and the 2.
Okay.
And so I think in the 2s, this is. I know she's gone sub 55 in the 400.
Okay.
And I think like 24 in the 200. So, but she's a 208 in the open 800. So, she competes for St. Thomas Aquinas. So, we'll see what she can do this year. But Batman's daughter, dude, I don't know.
Different. She was 11-1, if I remember correctly. She was 23, and I'm pretty sure she was 53, if not 52, in the fourth. Just ridiculous. She's essentially a semi-pro.
She's next.
And I think her commitment is the 17th, if I remember correctly. So I think she's picking between Florida, Texas. Let me go to her Instagram real quick. Let's see, because she did post it. Shanti. And shout out to Batman Jackson. He's a friend of the page, friend of the channel. Awesome dude. Okay, so USC, Texas, Georgia, Florida, and Arkansas.
Let me tell you.
So
y'all better hope that she don't mess around and go up there and link up with Coach Mouse, Coach Holloway up at UF.
That's where I'm hoping she lands.
I hope so too, but I'm saying for just in general, y'all better ask the Savior to help you.
I better pray A&M throw some NIL money at her. Better pray.
Listen, Florida got that collective fund, that swap money going.
Did you see how crazy they were going in the transfer portal?
Yes.
Everybody, Texas, USC, Florida, pulling.
I was like, dog, transfer portal. We'll get back track field in just a second. Transfer portal opened up at midnight last week. By 11 a.m., there were I think 900, about 1,000, close to 1,000.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'm tripping. Yeah, over 1,000 people in the portal.
That's just crazy. And yeah, they throw money like running water. It's. I've never seen anything like it. I'm not even mad at it. But here's the thing: if you money hopping in the portal, you might be out of luck because there's always another 5-star.
Yep.
There's always another guy that sat the bench but developed, or he was somebody that they didn't expect that went out and showed out. But I don't know. I would love to see what an NIL track deal would look like.
Yeah, I think we'll see more in the coming years. I know Makai Williams has one with SoFi. I know one of the girls who ran for us, Infiniso, Megan, she's at Harvard and she has one with DoorDash. And so she does promotions with them.
Okay.
So I think it really just depends on the school and what connections they have. So
I am honestly, that would be the only bad thing is, it'll be bad if they make more money than the men. Or the pros, I'm sorry. That would be brutal. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I would hate that. Speaking of,
I don't know. I don't know if I would hate it per se, because if there's a way, because most people compete collegiately, right? Most people
right.
don't go on to compete pro. So if they can find a way to monetize their skill set when they still have that opportunity, because 99% of people are never going to run past college. I think that's a good thing. And it would expose pro track and field, because I don't feel like the general public realize how screwed most pro track athletes are and what even defines a pro athlete. Anson Henry did an excellent video on YouTube about, what is a pro in track and field. So I don't know. I think it could do more good than harm, but it would just be a very poor look for sure.
Oh, it would be a terrible look. That's not even a doubt. Back to it before we wrap this bad boy up with a bow. I was impressed. And sometimes it pains me to give Texas credit being from Florida. Duncanville, dude. That 4x1. They're 4x1.
Only team to go 39. Coach Clayton Brookins. He's a G, man. He had all of those guys rolling. Fastest kid in the country, Pierre Gorey. I think Pierre was 10-1 this year. And I mean, the results speak for itself. Literally the only team to break 40 seconds. There are a bunch of 40.5s, 40.6, 40.7s, and he's the only one who's able to crack the code. And so any 39 you see is special. That's rare, especially nowadays.
You don't see that in the United States high school track and field scene. You have to go to Jamaica, where they're running 39.9 and 39.8. So the fact that was able to get done on U.S. soil is extremely impressive. What you're saying is not an all-star team; it's your squad. So watching that, and the handoffs were great. The system that they have in place, at Duncanville, I was like, we kind of need to keep boosting that up to the pro level.
And that's the thing. They get time to practice. USA has maybe like one relay camp, and then they just say, throw them out there. But at the same time, with a relay, it's you'll have instances someone will go down in warm-ups and you'll have to throw alternate on there. So the USA, it's crazy how we have such great handoffs from youth to high school to college, and then we get to pro and it just falls completely apart.
I was thinking back to outside of 2019 when they took home the gold in Doha. The best we've looked that I remember was 2012.
Yep.
But they had the pin relays, which was a relay camp. And you had USA blue, USA red for the men and women. Mm-hmm. Then they had Monaco, where they had USA blue, USA red, another relay camp. Then you have your official relay camp. And then the relays are good. They did. I mean, unfortunately, due to doping, it really doesn't count. It doesn't count, but they look good. I mean, they would have won that race. The only problem is Johan Blake ran the leg of a lifetime on the third leg, And Ryan Bailey, they like, okay, you got to save us.
They tried to hype him up as the boat killer, but there are no boat killers. Bailey did the best he could do.
No, like it's like,
but when Tyson Gay gets rolled, you're like, oh no, it's up for us.
Terrell Kimmons had a hell of a start. Gatlin had a great second leg against Michael Frater, and Tyson was holding on, but Johan, between that 40 and 70 meter mark, he
dog walked him.
He closed, and I was like, oh boy. I'll give credit to Tyson because it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say that, but it could have been so much worse. And he held on, but when I saw that, it's like, oof.
But that was the fastest curve I think I've ever seen in my life.
That's what we thought. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and think about it. It's not like we were all the way on the outside and they were on the inside. We're right next to each other. So it's not like our angles are that much different. Johan was dog walking Tyson.
Lane 4 and 5. 4 and 5. And I was just like, the Lord have mercy, man. It was that is something that I will not forget. But it's just, we had 3 relay camps. So that's at least that's a month. And it's like, like what are we doing? Like, they got it at the high school level. On the collegiate level, it's fine. We've proven that it's not that hard. And
it's not.
And here's the thing, man. It's not as if it wasn't. I've watched this work in football, or try to work. We're gonna put the best 5 offensive linemen out there. My team, Ohio State, I watched them do that. So you had tackles playing guard. You had tackles playing center. It didn't work. It did not work. You have to if you're a guard, you need to play guard. You see it in basketball all the time. You have shooting guards trying to play point guard, trying to lead an offense. It doesn't work. It does not work. The same thing with track and field. It's not about your 4 fastest. Terrell Kimmons was not the fastest dude out there. Terrell Kimmons was arguably the slowest dude out there. But his start, nobody's touching his start. Doc Patton, in the preliminaries. Doc's not the fastest dude out there. He was the oldest dude on the team. But he fit that second leg. But it's just it
comes down to selecting the right people for the right leg. So here's how I would break it down, right? Your first leg has to be the best starter on the team. I don't care if it's a curve. I don't want to hear anyone talking about putting a 200-meter runner on first leg. You need a 100-meter runner who has the best start. Second leg needs to be another 100-meter runner. They need to be straight up and down, smooth, silky technique, and they can just fly.
Yeah.
Right? Think Elaine Thompson. Think Justin Gatlin. Think Marvin Bracey. Those are the people you put on second leg. Third leg, then you put a 200-meter runner. You put someone like an Arian Knighton. You put Johan Blake, 19-2. Even though Johan, as an example, he's second fastest in 2 events. But you put Jenna Prandini. Look, Prandini's mainly a 200.
Just see a 200.
And then anchor leg, straight dog. There's got to be a dog. Noah, perfect fit. Fred, perfect fit. Usain Bolt, perfect fit. They just have to be a dog.
I'm not lying.
The dog is going to be the person to get you the goal.
I like Noah on that second leg.
No, not his leg at all. No, sir. No, sir. Because Noah needs to finish the relay. We saw what happened when we put him on second, and I'll give him this. He looked like he had just ran 19.3. Coach Lamont, said so himself. His nervous system had just done something it had never done before. Yeah. So he did not have his best leg because Jerome Blake was rolling.
He was moving.
Man, Aaron Brown and Jerome Blake for Canada set that thing up. Because Christian Coleman had a good start, but Aaron Brown did not get walked. He handled Coleman. And then when you hand it off to Noah did not make a huge impression on the second leg. He really didn't. Really, Elijah Hall did the work on third leg to get us in position, had a bad handoff, and then DeGrasse just decided, oh, I'm going to show up now. And then L.
That's the most impressive thing to me, man. How he always, it don't matter.
Third leg was Brendan, and he ran a good third leg. It's just Hall was walking.
He was running like 10 threes, 10 twos, 10 ones, but then takes care of the silver medalist. Like, such a great finish. I don't understand it.
Grass is different.
And I think they're training partners, he and Morrow.
Now, DeGrasse, I think, has left the group. I think he went to train with someone, but definitely last year he was with them for sure.
It's the most insane thing to me, man. But I don't know. There's a way to fix it. It's just a matter of if they're willing to do it. And so far, the answer has been no. So
get the right coach who knows what positions to put people in. I will argue to the death. Noah is not a second leg because Noah is not a pure 100-meter runner right now. He's a 200 specialist. I would put Noah either on third. I would put him on anchor. Noah
I was thinking third too. I thought about third. Yeah, I thought about third. Because he runs through the zones. He runs through, and that he could set somebody up to. And I don't know. I'll probably put Fred on anchor. To be honest with you, I like Fred at anchor.
Oh yeah, because Fred. I don't care if Usain was on anchor. If Fred gets the stick, he's gonna fight to the line.
He's gonna fight. He's gonna fight.
If we're behind, Fred has enough get up and go to get us out of the pits. So that would be my choice, either him or Noah.
Let's wrap this up. What was the last memorable moment from this high school season that you saw?
So I gotta go with my home team, but
gotta go with
Wings, AAU Junior Olympics. We had a lot of adversity heading into that JOs. Our kids had gone through a full high school season. Some of our kids had run 60, 50. I think Chris was even getting close to 70 races that season, right? So we're coming in. We're essentially just keeping everything together, making sure the recovery is good, treatment is good. We didn't train super crazy. We tried to protect them. And we had a lot of personal things going on right off the track, right? So there were some things with our head coach, Coach Darris and his family, things with my family, things with some of our athletes. And so all that being culminated in our team actually winning the 4x4 and doing it in dramatic fashion. So let me take you through it. So first leg goes off. The team in the lead is Virginia Elite. Virginia Elite, one of the best club programs in the country. They've been doing it for years, right?
Very good. Very talented, yeah.
I think we're in fourth place. Malcolm ran a good first leg. I think he split 48. And so then second leg comes around, right? From New Orleans, this is the team to look out for this next year too, because they're literally bringing everybody back. This team went 310. They got second behind us. Saber Child through sports, aka Sachs. They put a dog on second leg. Gets them to first. I think he's had to split 46. Justin Braun is on this leg. And one of our guys, Luke, who we have been getting on for his finish, pulls out a 46-8 on second leg and keeps us in the race. I think we're in fourth position at this point. Then we get to Chris Brinkley, right? So we're in fourth place. Sachs probably has a 20-meter, 30-meter lead on us at this point. So it's Sachs, Virginia Elite, Ohio Heat, and us. Ohio Heat's runner gets run into by one of Virginia Elite's outgoing runners. So he gets bumped a little bit. Chris hangs with him the entire way. Sachs is leading. And from Ohio Heat, I think his name Brendan? Whoever Ohio Heat had at third, shout out to Coach Pep, one of the best coaches in Ohio. If you run in Ohio, run for Ohio Heat. This dude goes to work, tracks down Sachs, get him in first, but good old Chris Brinkley had a 47-2 in his hip pocket, pulls us into third, and we're probably now, I'd say maybe 8 meters off the lead. And so we head into the final leg. Darius Rainey, one of the greatest athletes to ever come through Wings. That whole team is just full of dogs. They're some of the best people we've ever had. And we were in third place. And I'm sitting back like, what is going on? We're supposed to be in the lead. Darius Rainey pulls out a 45-7 to close out the meet, 309, one of the fastest times we've run in the past 20 years. And we win JOs after not having won the 4x4 since in the senior division 17-18 since 2017. So we've come close a couple times. We got second in 2016. I think we got second and fourth in 2018. 2019, I think we were third. So we've been knocking at the door trying to get that championship. So to do it with that group, that has to be my favorite moment. And just each kid doing their job. So
if I'm not mistaken, so Brinkley's at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Rainey's at USC.
Mm-hmm. And then Luke and Malcolm are both at
Stephen
SFA.
Stephen F. Austin. So Luke went to SFA too.
Yes, sir.
I know Malcolm went to SFA. Okay, wow. I want to see the video of that. Like I need to see it.
It is on mile split. It's one of the craziest races of the year. Literally every lap there was a new leader. When the baton exchanged, there was a new leader. First lap, Virginia lead. Second lap, Sachs. Third lap, Ohio Heat. Final lap, the Wings.
There is nothing, I know people may disagree with this. There is nothing more thrilling than a close race in the 4x4.
Hands down, the best race in track and field. I'll give you 4x1s might be more exciting, just pure adrenaline and excitement. But if you're talking about the best, 4x4 hands down. Nothing can touch it.
Takes you through every emotion. It's one of the most incredible races. It's worth, if you're in high school, I don't know if it's worth it, but I used to have to stay to the meets, but that was like the reward, for just a great meet. So I need to go check that video out because that's
when championships are won and lost at the high school and the college level. It all comes down to that. Literally being on the 4x4, your entire team is in the stands and they're like, all right, y'all gotta go win it. And that pressure is on you and you have to perform. And think about it, you have all the sprinters coming down and you even get 800 runners on the 4x4. 4x1 is kind of more exclusive to the sprints, right? 4x4, anyone can jump in. 800 runners, hurdlers, 4x1, 200-meter runners, 400-meter runners.
Everybody.
So, all the athletes you could think of can run the 4x4.
Listen, man, I remember when I was coaching high school, we were in third place, and unfortunately, we did not win the state championship that year. And the kids that I coached the year after that, and they went on a tear of winning state championships and running some insane times. But man, that hurt because we were so close, and we were in the first heat, and we ran our hearts out, and it came down to a team. One of those runners, we were good. I'm sitting like, oh, we got it. We needed 4 points, man. We needed 4 points. And one of those runners that I did not think would do it, he got hot from the other team. And I don't know what he popped, but he ran a hell of a third leg. And I was like, well, that's it. Listen, that race, it breaks your heart.
Man. It'll do something to you. I'll tell you one more story. So 2021 with this same group, essentially, we were leading on second leg, right? Yeah. First leg dropped like a 46, Carlo Calderon, 46 off the jacks. Chris gets the stick in second, and what is his name? Charlie Bartholomew. He is at Oklahoma State. Yeah. Walked Chris down. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, what? And then from there, we're behind the 8 ball. And so basically all the other legs canceled each other out. We went 311 and got fourth. Fourth with a 311. It went 308, 309, 310, 311. Dang. All Texas teams. So the 4x4, it'll break your heart. But when you win it, it's a great feeling.
Nothing better. I gotta give my last one goes to, and I've covered her. She came on Lactic Acid, the podcast, Caroline Wells. And the reason I give it to Caroline Wells is because Seminole County, there's something about Seminole County in the Central Florida area, about 35, 40 minutes away from me, or 25 minutes on the highway. Some of the best talent in the world has come from Seminole County. It started with Jenny Simpson at Oviedo High School. She just set it off, and we know what she's doing now. You know, gold medalist, world champion, Olympic medalist, all of that. It started with her. Continued on with Sinclair Johnson, who USA track and field outdoor champion in the 1500. Goes to Samuel Austin in the 800, and then Caroline was able to continue that lineage, and won the state championship in the in I believe the 32. God, I forget now. Yeah, I think it was the 32. Okay. But she dominated cross country and track and field. So just to be able to see like, and now she's running at Stanford. So just to be able to see like that lineage in that county, which is just crazy for middle distance, just continue to go on and just kind of rep Central Florida, put us on the map continuously, was something that I'll always remember. And it's funny, I was just thinking about Central Florida track and field and how, in the sprints, we're really good in the sprints. Now, Miami's different. Like they're different than Miami. I could just tell you, going to meets with those Miami schools, it's different. I remember watching the dude run 13-4 in the hurdles in state championship. I was like, whoa, boy, what? And then
it's like you're not supposed to be running 13s. You're 17. What's going on?
And then run 35 in the 300 hurdles. Stupidest thing. 35. Football player, wide receiver. And there's a powerhouse squad down in Miami Northwestern. Obviously, they're known for their football team. What they do on the track is different. I'm just telling you right now, because I cannot recall the last time they lost a state championship, and they're so balanced in everything that they do. They're not just sprint heavy, and they always have some of the best relays in the country. But I remember, I graduated in 2012, and so the guy who went to school 10 minutes away from me that dominated the high school track and field scene from Central Florida was Marvin Bracey. Marvin, we talked about on my show. Marvin pulled his hamstring in the state championship and still ran a 10-4. So when you say like somebody on that second leg, it kind of should be Marvin. That would be good. So CC to Marvin to Noah to Fred.
So I think that's my ideal.
Marvin can start too.
Yeah, he can start, but CC is the 60-meter world record holder. Like you're not taking CC off of first. And Marvin, I think, holds his top end speed better, right? But top end speed doesn't. I mean, it matters in the 4x1, but it's like most people are getting a running start, so you're just gonna be flowing.
Yeah, so I can dig that. I can definitely dig that. Matthew, my man, tell the people where they can find you. I know you're starting to ball out with MJP4 TV. And if you haven't checked out that channel, please do. There's a lot of awesome content on there. There's a lot of great race recaps on there. And then some of his interviews, including his exclusive interview with Coach Jay, who is the coach for Arian Knighton. You have to check that out.
Definitely. Well, people, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MJPTV0, and then on YouTube at MJPTV. All different kinds of track and field content, like Dominique said, interviews, behind the scenes stuff, kind of mini docs. Hopefully there's some there you'll find interesting. So yeah, thank you guys, and thank you, Dom, for having me on. Really appreciate it. Always a great time talking, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a big part of what Lactic Acid was in 2022. For everybody listening, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Lactic Acid Podcast. Please be sure to click and link into this YouTube page. Obviously, you know where to find me, Lactic Acid with Dom Smith, but please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell. Tell your friends about it. Tell your mama, tell your daddy about it. Subscribe. Let's continue to grow this thing headed into 2023. Until next time, peace.